This Sunday at St. Richard's, we transfer the Feast of the Presentation, also called Candlemas, from Monday to this Sunday. Not all churches do this. Now you may dismiss your servant in peace according to your word, O Lord, for my eyes have seen your salvation. Amen. Imagine all those years that Simeon had spent in the great temple, waiting for the event celebrated on Candlemas, 40 days after Christmas, the presentation of the infant Jesus in the temple. During all those years, did he ever wonder if God would be faithful to his word, his promises? In short, did he ever doubt? Generally speaking, in the long delay of answers to prayer, the kind of great joy finally experienced by Simeon is often preceded by lingering periods of questions, of darkness, of doubt. For you see, doubt is the flip side of faith. Faith is the front side of doubt. We see great joy preceded by long doubt throughout the Bible. The clearest example of this is Thomas, doubting Thomas he's called, the disciple of Jesus, absent on that very first Sunday evening of the resurrection, when Jesus made his first appearance to the disciples. When told of the risen Lord's visit, Thomas was skeptical. How could Jesus be alive? One preacher observed that Thomas shouldn't have missed church that Sunday. When God spoke to Elijah on the slopes of Mount Sinai, he told Elijah to reunite with the community of Israel in order to cure his doubts. It is true that we cannot be as close to God on our own, absent from the community of faith, as we can being with God's people. It is not by accident that we are connected to the family of faith at church. Doubt is influenced by our experiences and by the way we feel more so than by the way we think. Frankly, some of us claim to doubt because it's a good place to hide. As long as we can live in the house of doubt, we do not have to take responsibility for certain of our actions or for our failures to make a positive contribution to this world. Yet there is a place in Christian life for sincere doubt, because doubt is so often the prelude to faith. Before Gideon was able to serve God's plan, he cried out, "If the Lord is with us, why has this befallen us?" Job in his struggle shouted, "I cry unto you, O Lord, and you do not answer." Never forget that on the cross, Jesus cried out, my God, why have you abandoned me?" Doubt is the front porch of the house of faith. Most of us must go through it before we can get into the house. One of my favorite gospel stories is in Mark 9, the story of the man who brings his little boy possessed by an unclean spirit to Jesus. After describing the boy's fits and his foaming at the mouth, he says, "Jesus, if you can help me, please do so." Jesus responds, "If I can? Listen, all things can be done for one who believes." And the man responds with the best answer in the whole Bible, "I do believe. Help my unbelief." Most of us at some point in our journey of faith could cry out, "Lord, I do believe. Help my unbelief." Descartes asserted that the essence of our being is doubt. Dubito ergo sum. I doubt, therefore I am. I think it is the insight provided by Mother Teresa, who dealt with her doubts about the very existence of God by continuing to assist the dying on the streets of Calcutta. By responding to human need, doubts take a back seat if they linger at all. I have spoken before of my renewed awe for Mother Teresa when the world learned after her death from her Jesuit spiritual director that she had tremendous doubts of faith for the last 10 years of her life. But she continued her work, gazing at the face of Christ in the distressing disguise of the faces of the poor she picked up on the grimy streets of Calcutta. Mother Teresa's life story is about fidelity in the face of doubt. Just as is the life journey of Simeon, as I imagine it, in that temple of Jerusalem 2,000 years ago. Doubt is responded to with fidelity in action. Doubt is the flip side of faith. Faith is the front side of doubt. Doubt is the front porch through which we often enter the house of faith. Celebrate your doubts. See it as a prelude to a deep, abiding, and mature faith. Remember Simeon, whose strong faith had to endure a lifetime of waiting. Now you may dismiss your servant in peace according to your word, O Lord, for my eyes have seen your salvation. Amen.